I am the host, Paul, and again, I'm delighted to be joined by my co-host, Noel. So welcome, Noel. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, now, Noel, we just had to look forward now to just with Stephen Kinney after the game and win last Friday night against Greece. There's a lot of speculation in the media, social media, and the various podcasts, but also among the genuine supporters. Where do we go from here? Do we stick with him for the rest of this campaign? We're not completely out of it, but the odds are against us making the top two. It looks very unlikely. At best, it probably looks like a qualifier place for the qualifiers. But just your own thoughts on that now. In your opinion, should we maybe stick with him and go to finish off the campaign? Or what do you think, is there a possibility of changing him? And if we do that, then where do you go for someone to replace him? But just your general thoughts on Stephen Kinney, should the FAI stick with him?
Yeah, I think the results against Greece has damaged him big time. I think a lot of people have sort of said, no, we can't go on like this anymore. We can't be, every time we start a campaign, we lose 2 games and we're basically out of it. And then it's a rescue mission then to save Kinney's job. I really like Kinney. I like what he's trying to do, but the thing is, sadly, he mightn't just have the players to try and play this way brand of football. And now we know a lot of teams, a lot of countries the size of ours have done very well. When you look at Scotland, for example, I mean, I'd love to be in Scotland's position right now. You know, they won against Norway away and they beat Spain 2-0. And now they have 2 or 3 players that Ireland just don't have. They have Andy Robertson, Kieran Tierney, McGinn in midfield. So they're good Premiership players. Even McTominay United is a good Premiership Premier League player. We just don't have that type of players. Now I know before people start saying we beat Scotland 3-0 and we gave them a good battle in Scotland where we lost 2-1, but they've pushed on. We haven't. And they've qualified. They qualified for Euro 2016. They gave England a right good game, Euro 2020. Sorry, and they gave England a right good game. They drew 0-0 and could have won that game. They got to the playoffs in the World Cup, finished second. They lost to Ukraine, so they're making progress all the time, all the way along. They won their Nations League group. They're guaranteed a playoff.
Yeah.
They look like they're going to qualify. So when you look at what other countries are doing, I know Wales have struggled. So the Irish team is probably, and the Irish fans are probably getting very frustrated that countries the size of ours, even smaller than us, are doing well. They're doing, and they're saying, looking at Kenny and saying, look, we've won 4 games out of 23 competitive, as far as I know. He's had 2 Nations League campaigns. He's had a World Cup campaign, and now he's starting this Euros campaign, and he's lost the first 2 games already. I know against France anything can happen, but we needed to pick up something against Greece, and we haven't, and that's the worry. If I have a big decision to make, I don't know personally, will it be best sacking Kenny and getting someone in before the France game? If they do, who is out there really? You know, Neil Lennon.
So the next round now is in September. Am I correct in that?
Yes, the next round. The FAI have a summer to think whether they want to stick with Kenny or not.
Yeah.
They've got a bit of time to do it. If they're going to back him, they can decide to back him over the summer, and give him the campaign, and maybe if there's a playoff, give him that as well.
Yeah.
Or if they feel that the team isn't just going to improve, for example, if we lost very badly away to France and lost, like say if we lost to Holland, and performances weren't up to scratch and were very, very poor, they could make a decision then if they think it'd be best to get rid of Kenny and then bring in the new manager and give him a few games and get themselves ready for the playoff if we are in the playoff. So there's a few decisions to be made for the FAI. A lot of people might think though it's regardless of who comes in, like it would be better to keep Stephen Kenny in place because the new manager would have to work with these players and like a lot of these players are championship players. Even some of the players in the squad here you have here in front of us, two of them are League One, and a few of them are playing in the Premiership. But we said it already: Bazunu, Travers, and Kelleher. They're not starting for their clubs. I mean, Jeff Hendrick is still around. James McLean, a great servant to Ireland, he's going to make his 100 cap for Ireland against Gibraltar tonight. But you know, he got relegated with He's got relegated with Wigan. He's going to be playing with League One if he sticks to them. So a new manager will need time to gel these players together. Maybe go back. Maybe I wouldn't say go back to the long ball, but there has to be another way of playing as well. Where
if you go back to the long ball, no, there's an old saying: it's only the right ball or not. I don't care whether it is a 5-yard pass or a big, the forward going straight through. It is the right ball or not. I don't believe in this thing. Oh, you can't play the long ball or the short ball. It is the right ball. If there's a forward running through and he's not offside and there's a chance to get straight through, you hit him with it. You know what I mean?
I think we need to mix it up a little bit, Paul. I think we need to, play to our strengths, because on Friday night we were camped in our own half. We couldn't get out, and I felt like, maybe push up a little bit, maybe go along a little bit, just not just every bloody minute, like. But
just shake it up a small bit. Shake it up a bit.
Just relieve the pressure. I mean, Evan Ferguson is a big, tall man, big, strong lad. I know he's only 18. It's amazing how young he is. But Adam Ida as well. He's a big, tall man. Maybe go a bit like the Niall Quinn and Duff way. maybe launch a little bit and get players around him and then work from there. But I just feel that we're stuck in a rut at the moment where we can't play through teams. We just haven't got the players. We're not able to do it.
Yeah.
We find it very hard to break teams down. So the way Kenny wants to play, and I totally understand that we went too extreme one way, but now we just can't seem to find a way to win matches and get chances. I mean, we hardly created many chances against Greece, and I know we had a few half chances against France as well, but we're not creating as much as we would want after 3 years under Kenny against decent teams. I just feel that if the FAI are to come in, we don't really have many options, Paul, to be honest with you. It's not really an attractive job at the moment. Neil Lennon maybe could do a job. I don't know about Roy Keane. I think a lot of the players.
But it is going to be interesting anyway.
It would be interesting. He definitely wouldn't be a choice I would go with anyway. Chris Hughton is working with Gann. I think he's head coach there. There isn't really many options out there, Paul. I can't think of anyone.
And heaven forbid, of course, there's even talk of Big Sam. What do you think of that?
I don't know. I wouldn't go with Big Sam now, to be honest with you. I think Big Sam can be very cocky. Jeez. Like he could say, like he came out with a statements there. He's as good as Pep or good as Klopp or as good as Arteta. Like we don't need any of that rubbish, to be quite honest with you. And,
no. I thought you go back to Stephen Kinney, and I think, in my opinion, I love your thoughts on this. Brian Kerr had the same problem. Stephen Kinney, great success in the League of Ireland. Dundalk had great success in the various European competitions, got great results. Away from home, they were exceptionally very good, and they really did very well. I think he managed over in Scotland with Dunfermline for a small bit, but he has never managed in England, and also that he was never a top player. Is it ultimately that deep down that the players don't believe in him? And ultimately, and I think Brian Kerr had much the same problems that when he was there, and I know Brian Kerr had far better players, but ultimately the players don't believe in you. If you haven't been a top player yourself at international level, and if you haven't managed in England at the top, either the Championship or the Premiership, but deep down, no matter how well you're organised, no matter what you do, no matter what you tell them, that deep down the players just don't believe. Could that be a problem? I know that the players don't believe in Kenny. What do you think? What are you talking about?
You could have a point there, Paul, because like a lot of the Irish players mightn't have known Kenny personally. They might have heard of him and known by, but basically the ones in England, because when Brian Kerr got the job, would many have known him either, because the League of Ireland, because they're in their own little bubble in England there. They mightn't know much what's happening in the League of Ireland because it hadn't come from League of Ireland background. They wouldn't have known that Shane Long and all them players did in the past. But I think to answer your question, Paul, if they would have known Kenny or would have respected him and stuff like that, but because he wasn't a great player. But there's been great players, Paul, that have managed lately. I can think of two: Stephen Gerrard and Frank Lampard. Just when they walked into management. Particularly Lampard. If you talk about Lampard,
Stephen Gerrard was up in Scotland with Glasgow Rangers. He broke the domination of City for 1 year. Anyway, they won 9 or 10 in a row. Whatever.
Yeah. You could say that, but with Lampard in it, he's been a disaster. Particularly, and I would know because that's the other way.
I accept that. That's a good point.
It was to make your point. He was a great player. Players knew him. Players loved him, and fans loved him. But it just fell apart. So it can go that way as well. So I think it's all about. I think. Players could see through you, whether you're a great player or whether you're a great manager in the past or whatever.
Yeah.
If things aren't working out, the players lose faith in you either way. So, I go back to what the interview that Doherty did there. He said that, the players were given everything, and it's not the manager. And when they cross the white line, it's up to them. John Egan said something similar as well. Now I know players always say that, and they want to back their manager, and I do think the coaching that they're getting has been probably at a higher standard than in the past, but it's just for some reason they can't implement it, and you have to say, are they the players to implement the game plan that he's putting in? So to answer your question, well, look, I don't know really, because I don't think a new manager is going to be able to rescue this campaign, which is I think even Kenny can't either. But
sorry for cutting across you. Should we look at his? Did you bring in John O'Shea and with the Keith Gillespie? It's Keith Gillespie at the end of backroom stuff for him.
Keith Andrews.
Sorry, apologise. Keith Gillespie was another man. Apologise. He's stuck in my head.
Well, Keith Andrews has been with him, I think, since the World Cup campaign as well. So he has got good people around him, and the players have good people around him as well. They've got, I mean, the FAI put on a training camp in Turkey for 10 days. Yeah. I remember even Kerr was saying, Kerr's been, funny enough though, Paul, Kerr's been one of Kenny's biggest critics. I mean, anytime he's had a chance, he has really, I wouldn't say gone for him, but he has really.
But that's their job, though. That's what they're getting paid to do as critics.
That's fair enough. I just think with Kerr, being, as you said yourself, being from League of Ireland and stuff like that, I think we would understand the criticism, because a lot of the criticism that Kenny's getting has been people from, you could say maybe the English, not the English side, but the side that maybe he played in the Premier League and stuff that haven't come from a League of Ireland background. There is that element to it as well.
Yeah.
Now he has got fantastic backing. The fans, funny enough, have always supported Kenny. They've always turned up. But I just feel after Friday, the fact that we're basically out of another group campaign. But we're just hoping we're on a Hail Mary now whether we can get the playoff, because we need other results to go our way. Is it going to? We'll know tonight. The reception the fans get and the players get.
Yeah, that tell you an awful lot what the supporters get behind the players tonight.
I think the supporters have got behind him, right behind him. But I think a few players, and I was a big supporter of Kenny. I wanted him to do well, but even I know my patience has been tested now, because I really want us to do well. I want him to do well, because he this is the dream job for him. He really wants. He believes in Irish football, but in a way, I think he's blindsided by the fact that he really wants to play attractive football and wants to do Ireland well and play well. The fact is that he's not getting the results. He's not getting the results to give himself time.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in a bad spell, you need the odd result. You need the results to keep you going. Four wins in 23 competitive matches.
Yeah.
Is not going to get you much more time. And I think obviously he's going to win tonight against Gibraltar. Let's face it. I mean, 2 or 3 now they should win.
Yeah.
But if we turn up now, get well beaten against France, which funny enough, in the games away from home against Portugal, Serbia, and all that, we haven't been blown out the gate or anything like that. If you look at the results that Kenny has got by losing, they've only lost by 1 goal, most of them.
Yeah,
I think all of them actually. So it's well, if they get beaten by Holland and we'll go with a win per day, and if we lose to Greece at home as well, or something like that, or only draw, and the only wins we have in the group is 2 wins against Gibraltar. Maybe we could nick a draw somewhere. I mean, that 7 points isn't going to be enough really to satisfy a lot of people. We're going to finish 4th, only finish ahead of Gibraltar. Most teams will do that, Paul, to be quite honest. So
yeah, but again, I know I'm going back in my own time. I suppose looking back in the past, but you go back in the 1970s before Owen Hand got involved. We had good players, and we were struggling down at the very bottom too. We won next to O'Neill. It was Owen Hand, I think, for the '82 World Cup. They came the closest to qualify. We were only beaten and scored different or something. So before that, even though Ireland had good players playing with the top English clubs, I know it's a long time ago, but we were very poor too. So maybe we have to accept it. It might be nice, and we might be unhappy, but maybe some people have to accept that for a while.
Yeah, I think if you go back to the dark days, though, Paul, if you look at maybe the 50s and 60s, and maybe before John Giles came in, before John Giles even came in, and you had the big 5 who they were FAI men in the suits who picked the team, picked the squad. Yeah. I mean, the stories of Irish players in England finding out they're in the squad by the papers.
Yeah.
So that's the dark days and the mismanagement of FAI, and eventually the management got to pick their own team, pick their own squads, and without interference. So we've come a long way in terms of that way, but it's it's frustrating, Paul, because everyone wants the Irish team to do well. We've seen Scotland do well, we've seen Wales do well, we've seen England way ahead of everybody else, and obviously not comparing ourselves to England. But it is frustrating that we can't seem to get it together at international level for the football team.